My husband abandoned me and the children. So I can't see this connection to travel. So if I reach I say I will pay. But I swear Juju will say I will pay. And I make and borrow me the money. So they move my finger from my hand and my leg, scrape my hair, take more from my hair. So if I don't pay the money, I will. If I don't cross river, if I don't pay, return their money, my enemy go there. I not come cross, but since I don't already so I need to return that money now because of the juju. Me not come worry me.
You dey fear whether that juju dey affect you now?
I don't know. I dey fear because juju know say most juju maybe say they cut my finger, take some hair for my private parts. For here now, I see they do the hustle street for here too, like Asha work. I see they do one here. The day I just say I not fear, I just come outside, go stay for street, find money.
But you go wish to stop this kind of work.
I wish to stop. I see help.
So your children, you see them they go school. They never been go school before. Or they just stop this.
Where they go? So no school. My I want to pay school fees now. Nobody I say me they stop.
Why they not their house today?
They as I don't stay strong and I don't get anything for us. Now so okay, me they still go my mom's side. I don't want my children live the life I live before, but no help.
Immediately she returned from an unsuccessful trip outside Nigeria, Essie started selling sachet water to feed herself and her 4 children. In this episode of my migration story series on Legit TV, the 32-year-old lady explained how the 2 fathers of her children abandoned her with the children and how they have had to drop out of school because she could not afford their school fees. She also confessed to have continued with roadside prostitution, which says she does whenever she is very broke and cannot feed her children. My name is Damilare Okola, and you're watching another episode of my migration story series on Legit TV. Yes, how work now? Which kind of work you do?
Way to survive now. Pure water and this.
Pure water. Why you started to sell pure water?
Ever since I come back for travel, no support now. I need to feed with my kids, so I need to the struggle for me and my kids since I don't get support for anybody.
So you travel, where you travel?
In Libya.
When you come back from Libya?
Come back in 2018 trip 2019.
That kind of December?
Yes.
How many years you spent for Libya?
1 year plus.
1 year plus. Why you go Libya now? What happened before? You don't even born those kids before you go Libya back?
Yeah, I don't born the 4 kids before I go Libya. Since me and my husband abandoned me and the children, I need to help those children because they need to go to school. So I can't see this connection to travel. So if I reach I say I will pay. I can't borrow money. Even the money I never will pay safe.
Till now?
Till now I never pay because I can't say I lost the person lost. Nobody my family lose. I can't lose her. But I swear Juju will say I will pay. And I make and borrow me the money. I never pay her. So when we come reach now I take commot. So if I reach I say I will still pay another money.
Join the one when you
and
borrow.
Because I borrow 300,000. So everything na 600,000. I can't borrow 300,000. Man for take myself. Take. So if I reach outside, now so the thing happen. Now take road. So when I enter road, for road, they ever rob us. They ever rape me for road safe, for desert. So water no dey. How they drink my peace. Different thing.
For Libya, which kind of work you can't see do?
I can't see the connection as for Libya there. Cause they also for them. Now I taste to say I still know they work well. Now they come as they can't catch me. Better see you. As I enter see they can't catch me for say. As I say the thing. Now just the connection as called they also they do a shower work. Let me connection as they do a shower work then. But I see so they can't bust our connection as they can't catch us. Can't add or join people make them want deport come Nigeria. They can't make Nigeria.
How shall work? So How the thing be for that side?
It still be like that. Also, like they come, they like you, they'll carry, they'll pay you money. Not be able me now, my madam pay my day, then they'll pay the money. So now, so the actual work.
How much did they pay that time?
Yeah, the nurse for Nigerian money, if you want yours, maybe they want some hour with you. Nigerian money now 5,000. For that, and 50 dinars. Now they call them dinars money. So that's what the money be.
How you be for body that time for Libya?
Baby say no papa, no mama. I need to accept her now.
You swear juju before you do that one too?
No, because since I did there, where I want to go, I go stay now because the money may even say when I read the 9 days sell, they even sell me give the woman because I need to pay the money may she they buy me too.
So for that side, now waiting girls they do, but I be which other jobs?
Now girls they do now. Girls they do those work for that side. I don't want me to, but other girls I see many girls there. Many girls there.
So before you come up for Nigeria, what did they do for Nigeria at that time?
Nah, they work for one restaurants. I sales get monthly. They pay me 7,000. Don't want to follow up with children and feed the money now. I straight school fees. So I also this opportunity. So okay, I travel, I go make better money. Now take come out.
How did you when you swear? So how they take do them? What did they tell you? Which say they carry you?
Carry me go juju. They can't tie cloth. They move my finger for my hand and my leg, scrape my hair, take some more for my hair. Say if I don't pay the money, I go. If I don't cross river, if I don't pay, return their money, my enemy go die.
But you know cross river now.
I don't cross. I don't come cross. But since I don't already swear, I need to return that money now because of the juju. Me not come worry me. So now be the issue. But I lost the woman called her because I lost my phone. Because it's my day come back, the woman called they call me, way money. But mama, our agreement now if I cross. Say no concern Rambo. Say my bring money. Mama, I new come. I never get. See now so far I see there. Now I lost that my phone. So I could lost the woman because she don't know my house. They asked me she know I don't pack more for there. She not come know where I dey.
You dey fear that juju they affect you now?
I don't know. I dey fear because juju no say most maybe say they cut my finger. Very strong now.
Cut finger?
It's cut some of my fingers, for leg, take some hair for my private parts. Take soy.
So since you don't return, what you can they do?
I pay out I dey say now. My dey come, no different promise for different places. Now I tell the follow, so come and say pure I see how many I feel say a day. Still use and follow up. How many I still say a day? I still use and follow up. Now to the pay only around 50 naira, 100 naira. Still they use and they pay my ass straight. More still use and buy food, still chop. My kids now they know they go school. 4 kids.
They never go school before, Abi. They go before.
They go before. Before I travel, when I take on, they know they go again. They ask.
So, what make your husband abandon you? We have quarrel, Abi.
We quarrel. We just quarrel. So he can't abandon me and the children for us. I'm not concerned again. If I call, I know they pick nothing. Before I know, but no call they go. I tell you, say na wrong, leave us.
So, what him be they do before him na quarrel when he be abandoned?
Now where first they stay.
Which work they do?
Now this they drive a taxi.
Now you never hear from him since that time. You don't even know where he did. A day, how they sell the pure water now? If you, how many bags a day?
I sell like sometimes the day market go day well, I sell reach like 6 bags. If I see carry like the time pure water they ship, they carry 120, 100. But now pure water so depends on what you want to carry. One will carry so now 180, so now 150. Okay, depends of the one you want to carry, because the friend of the name. So now we take the carry. If I see carry that 150, I sell at 200, 50 I go stay at my pockets. Like that.
So Nigerian ladies say they won't return, they won't go Libya, go see us. You if you get opportunity, you still won't go Libya.
I don't go again. But if I get opportunity, if I inside country, say now up, I'll go back for grad. I don't advise so. Because you know the way the person they go.
When you say up or grad, what do you mean?
Like flight. And I use the grant. problem dey road o. Make the baby like cause they never go, make dem go, still go see am. But for me, I no dey go.
But which work you want to go do for Libya now if you go by air now?
Not be Libya now, like maybe outside country, like Italy, for flights. Say not be for Libya, I no go Libya again. No, maybe say they shoot, you dey fear for his house. If you don't do well, the Arab will use gun kill you, die for there. Use gun dey threaten person. So
if you no do well,
if you not green, say they carry you go house. Some go ever carry you go herself. They no pay money. They don't your mother don't talk am. They no pay. If you not go, carry gun put for your head. You agree for them now? They'll sleep with you like that.
How old be your children?
The first one are 14 years. Second one are 12 years. The other one are 10 years. While the other one are 3 years.
You born all of them for the same man?
No. Nah, 2 different fathers.
What of the second person?
That one not still there. The first time I born for, I call the first time me and a day. I still, I don't know say he get wife, so he not tell me. So when I tell no, he can't leave me go stay with his wife. Cause he say not be being here. They be like say he come for company come work now. Lagos that side. Cause he may take go not come back again. I would say that the second one, now abandon me for us. They made a drive Tyson.
You still get any plan to marry again?
No.
No marry.
But if God give me mommy, they respect and I'll marry, but for now, I just me and my kiss.
So like now, which kind of work you want to do? Or which kind of thing you want to do? If you say you go help you now. So.
I still want to help me. I feel they sell this food stuff. Like all these tomatoes, pepper, carrot shop. I feel they sell this crayfish, those food stuff. I feel they sell that until they manage.
You get where you want to sell, but you don't see where you.
I never see. If money come to see, I know they had now.
How much be your rent for this place?
Na 3,000. If you 100 naira a month, man, they pay only a month na 3,001. Only driver will take 103,000 will be my own.
100 naira be waiting.
Only driver, if I pay 100 naira, a month is 3,1. Only driver will take 100 naira for top. They will give me 3,000.
What's the only driver?
As a really for the gather money.
Oh, okay.
Gather money. If you still get you, they pay small. If you don't more, they'll return your money for you. Still don't pay as strength.
So how much they do per day? 100 naira for your pure water business. Apart from that, where you can't see money again? Where else do they see money again?
Maybe if person still coming for there, maybe I see for here now. I see they do the other streets for here too. Like Asha work, I see they do one here. The day I just say I don't feel, I just come outside and go stay for streets, find money. Not they hide my own.
So now because say you don't get money to feed the children.
Nah, you know.
Children, when you go, you don't leave them for house, where they put them?
I'll leave them for house. For the house.
During COVID lockdown, how you take cope?
I see the street now. Maybe if I still go, I go. If I don't see, I still come. Still go. I just got. But
you go wish to stop this kind of work.
I wish to stop if I see help.
So your children, you see them they go school. They never been go school before. They just stop this.
Where they go? So no school. I want to pay school fees now. Nobody I say me they stop.
Why they not their house today?
As I don't stay strong and I don't get anything for us, now so okay, they still go my mom's side. If they see they come, if I don't see them, maybe next week I'll go carry them. They come.
You get brothers and sisters for the new year?
Yes, but the people is stronger for yourself now.
How many brothers?
I get 2 brothers and 4 sisters. Yeah. And I may be senior.
Are you senior everybody? Are you the firstborn? So 7 of 9.
Mm.
You don't go school, Abi, you know like
I finish na just say secondary school JSS3 now for stop.
JSS3. Why you stop?
No, to further my education now. No, just pause. Just stay. I don't want my children live the life I live before, but no happy.
The boys or girls? How many boys?
1 boy, 3 girls.
Which one's in your past?
And the girl be seen.